Maybe you've experienced days before where absolutely nothing seems to work out, you're totally stressed out because of that. Maybe if it's really worse, you've also experienced that you're so exhausted, so done with life, you have so little energy that you're like, even getting out of bed or even going for work, or sometimes this happened to me, going to have a shower or going to eat something was pointless and there was not enough energy for that. My name is Dennis and I'm building my business in sales right now because I want to live free and travel the world. Right now we are in Lejanías, Colombia, and here on this channel I will document everything, like the ups and downs, the adventures that we go on, the down phases that we have. And if this is interesting, consider subscribing and let's continue with the video. For me it was 1 year ago when I was like probably in one of the worst phases in my life, maybe the worst, because I really thought, okay, I might be depressed. I was googling online, okay, signs of depression, and I thought, okay, maybe. I was working back then for years now for success. I wanted to improve. Everything went in the wrong direction. Like I had debt, my business failed. I had to move back in with my parents, and I really tried to force results, and I still had the desire, okay, I need to be a millionaire right now. This was so much force and so dragged me down so much that at some point, like, really I had no energy anymore. I was super exhausted, even while doing nothing. I remember this one time I was standing in the shower. I said, okay, midday, I have to shower. I was standing in the shower, I kid you not, for 10 minutes, inside the shower already, ready to shower. I couldn't open the water because I was so exhausted, I had no energy. So the first Stoic way to go about things is, in my opinion, to not act on impulses, because we are often run by our emotions, and the emotions, especially the negative ones, we are run by those emotions because of the ego, because the stronger or the lower the emotions, the stronger is the connection to the ego, and it's not us that is making the decisions or the actions, but it's more like the ego, the emotion is running us. So what we should do, for example, when we are like in this, not exhausted, but this angry state mostly, observe the emotion, separate from the emotion, realize, okay, we are not the emotion, but we have and we experience the emotion. In that moment we can claim our power back and say, okay, no, I will act how I want and not how my emotions want me to act right now. And basically be able again to make conscious decisions how we want to act instead of the impulse that we usually act on. Thing number 2 that I learned from my mentor, and it was super valuable for me, is that we should listen to what our body tells us. Because if you are, for example, like you really are working, you want to hustle, you realize at some point when you're like grinding 7 days a week, try to make the most out of every hour, that you at some point hit like a point where you can't anymore. You're like so exhausted, apathetic, you think, okay, life is pointless, what you do is pointless, standing up is pointless, you just lie there because you have no energy anymore. The worst thing in that moment, what you could do is to say, okay, no, I have to grind even more. I'm a loser, beat yourself up maybe like I did. Try to force yourself to work more, to do more. Because the working, the doing, the forcing yourself to do something brought you in this position that you have no energy anymore. And you have to realize and live in a state of acceptance. Okay, my body is just super exhausted right now, I can't anymore. Now it's time to listen to my body and to recharge my batteries again before I then can work again. One thing that I think we have to realize, I at least had to realize, that we are not machines, that we are humans, and that we at some point might need a break. For example, 1 year ago, if I would be in this phase where I have no energy anymore, and I try to force myself to do more, it would only result in, okay, I was sitting there for 1 minute, and then I was like, okay, I just can't. It's weird to describe if you haven't just experienced it before, but the worst thing to do is there to force yourself to do the one thing that brought you in this negative position. Muchas gracias. Ya, solo un poco de español, pero inglés es mejor. Muchas gracias. Alright, we just got some food, some breakfast, because the universe realized we're hungry. I think it doesn't really have that much taste, but it's also not like undelicious, not delicious. If you're in a bad mood, go for a walk. If you're still in a bad mood, go for another walk. This is a quote by Hippocrates, or however you call him. And this is something that also helped me a lot when I was in this super down phase, and try to reflect on my emotions, try to calm down, because I think there's some peace or some stillness in nature that we cannot find, and like maybe in a city or maybe like in our house, whatever. And it also helps us to still our mind and still our thoughts a bit. But the most important thing what it does is that we are confronted with our emotions, because what we are usually do with our emotions is like we repress or suppress them, so we push them down, or we try to escape from them. And this is through, for example, when we're at home, we watch TV, we watch Netflix, we eat junk food. All those things to feel better, basically things to, or a mechanism to escape our emotions, because we try to get other emotions, better emotions, in order to not feel those negative emotions. And this is why going for a walk helps a lot, because we cannot really escape the emotion anymore. We are confronted with those emotions, and we have to learn how to handle them, and we have to learn how to let go of those emotions. And the last point in front of this beautiful scenery, destiny is mixing the cards, but we are the one who's playing the game. This is a quote from Arthur Schopenhauer, and he is like, I think not particularly like a Stoic or something, but I think this quote reflects this more or less Stoic view, I think, quite well, because I always viewed it from like this little reframe that we think, that I thought, okay, if something negative happens to me, if something isn't working out, this is just life testing me. This is just like the cards that life gave me, it's just a test, and life wants to see, okay, how committed am I, how willing to work am I to overcome these bad cards and make the best out of my cards and improve my life anyway. Because maybe your business that failed or that didn't work out, maybe it was supposed to fail. Maybe there was like learnings, business lessons that had to be learned before. Maybe it was supposed to be that you were born in like maybe a quote-unquote bad family or not so good family, that you say, okay, my life is so shitty right now, I want to improve. I'm coming from such a bad place, I want to improve, I have to improve. If you're on this maybe phase where life gave you super bad cards, or when you're super exhausted and you say, okay, I just cannot work right now anymore, and you beat yourself up because of that, I think it's easy that we beat ourselves up because of that, because of society, and especially I think like most personal development YouTubers tell us, okay, no, still do the work, still work hard. But I want to tell you, hey, no, do not beat yourself up for that, because this is normal that we have those phases, that we are in those moods. But of course we have to work, but of course we have to continue. But in those phases when you just can't anymore, it's okay to recharge. And now I want to thank you for watching. Maybe we'll see each other with recharged batteries in the next video.